to head down to New Orleans for Super Bowl 58. It's NFC Championship time. From the 6. And makes it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Now Fields going to throw on the first play. That's complete to Mooney. 5 yards on the game's first play. Second down. First carry now for David Montgomery. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 4 and 5. Only 5 on this play to remove the sticks. From the gun on third down, Fields. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And he will bring this one back. An interception return for a Commanders touchdown. So a big defensive play there on the opening drive, no less, as they make the interception and bring it back for the score.
And I think that's a signal for how this defense wants to play. They want to be disruptive, and you know they're going to take some chances.
Well, sometimes it can burn you, but right there, it paid off. Joey Sly on for the extra point. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll be stopped up at the 25. Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. Remember, they were just out here a moment ago through the pick 6, so we'll see if they can take better care of the football this go-around.
Yeah, and sometimes, partner, I think it's almost better that you just throw the pick 6 and you come right back out on the field. You're not over on the sidelines dwelling for it for very long. You're not hearing everyone say, hey, you'll get them next time. Hey, don't worry about it. All that stuff just goes right out the window. You're right back out on the field with a chance to atone.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Back to throw. Fields. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line. An extra man in the secondary for Washington on third down. A give to Montgomery out of the gun. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1. Here comes the Bears punter now. Back deep, Jakeem Grant. This is taken at about the 14. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Washington. Talk about flipping the script. That punt return 86 yards. And the Commanders are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and it's now 14-0. It's no secret. That's why they have him return punts. He has the capability to take them back, and he did so there. From the 6. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. Fields and the Bears now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. He'll begin by dropping it off to Montgomery. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Fields going to hold on to it. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up. Not a lot of success to be found there.
You got that way, because every time you make guys miss about 10 yards
This is Chase Claypool on the receiving end. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. His first catch in this NFC Championship game, and it's a first down. Fields tapping it forward, jet sweep. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Now it's Fields. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. Not the start to this one, but any quarterback would want or envision. Remember, he had the pick six, and here he ends up on his backside.
Yeah, and you have to wonder to yourself, okay, after throwing the pick six, did he get too careful with the football and not deliver downfield and take that sack? They've got to make sure that he's really into this game.
It'll be a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Bears with the football. We get set to begin quarter number 2. Here comes the Bears punter now. Remember, his first attempt was returned for a touchdown. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So here are the Commanders making their way out. And they will be led out by the youngster, the rookie, their QB.
And just in case you didn't know in the days leading up to the NFC title game, you definitely know now. No rookie quarterback has ever won the Super Bowl. But this is getting towards uncharted territory. This is a monster deal. If this offense believes in it, which I believe that it does, they could be the ones to break that streak. And having spent time around this team, I'm starting to believe they're going to get it done.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. They lose 2 on that last play, so things get even tougher. 3rd and long coming up. Back to throw. Moreland sets up the screen to Robinson. Good contain, no gain on the screen, and it'll bring up 4th down.
You know, in boxing, they throw in the towel. In this case, you just got to wave the white flag, and you think to yourself, if he could just get past that initial wave, he's got a chance to get free. But that screen, it was going nowhere from the start. It forces a 4th down.
Call it 46 yards on the punt, just a single yard on the return as he was covered quickly. And the Bears take over. So now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Fields throw taken in by Edwards. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
First down, here's the run with Montgomery. And they will only muster a yard here to the 38.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
2 minutes remain in the first half of this NFC Championship. A reminder, as we did all through the regular season, we'll check in with Jonathan Coachman at halftime. He'll have highlights and analysis of this first half of play. Now he's going to swing this one out to his running back. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds. Calling a gain of 6 on the play. And now we've got a 3rd down and 3. Here's Fields. Montgomery, another target and catch. And he'll be tackled about 2 yards shy of the line to gain. A 1-yard pickup leads to 4th down. The kick by Lutz is good, and they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. Well, still trailing here, but they do get the late field goal. Now their defense will try to keep this score right where it is heading into the locker room.
Yeah, and trailing it to break, you obviously don't want to go in off of a negative play. Give them credit for that one. Finding a way to put points on the board. Give them any type of a spark, anything to build off of as they try to plan a comeback.
Now Washington going to retake the field for drive number 2. Still more than a minute to go, so there is time if they want to mount something here.
Not only time, but they have 3 timeouts at their disposal as well. So that changes everything that you're doing here. Without those timeouts, you can only work the sidelines hoping to get out of bounds. Here, the middle of the field's still available because you can call timeout and regroup.
Looking to throw on second down. Moreland. That's going to be caught downfield by McLaurin. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. Well, Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Quick slant, Dotson. Touchdown! Jahan Dotson, a 24-yard touchdown. And the Commanders continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and the lead is up to 18 now. The drive there only spanning 3 plays, and it was Jahan Dotson with a touchdown catch to finish things off. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Taken in at the 3. And he'll take it a yard or so past the 20, call it the 21. The Bears going to get one more possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And they work this well upfield across the 45. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Fields on first down. He's going to air one out. He's got a man complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. This is first and goal and a golden chance to get a score back here before halftime. Out of the gun, Fields. This will be caught at about the 6. Now here's a timeout as they're going to get it with 8 seconds remaining here in the first half. The 6-yard line, the line of scrimmage on second and goal. Fields now to throw. Flush to his right. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. Justin Fields, as time expires in the first half. And the Bears get a late touchdown here on the final play of the first half. Lutz good on the extra point, and it makes the score 21-10. Yeah, who has time for a halftime show with a trip to the Super Bowl on the line? Let's get back to it. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. And this will not be returned, so the second half begins with a touchback. The Commanders up first on offense as we begin this third quarter. And I think here with the lead, CD, they have to resist that temptation to kind of looking ahead. Would you agree?
Absolutely, I would agree, because they know the stakes. They know the winner of this game goes to the Super Bowl. And this one, it's far from over. They were the better team in the first half, but they do know that they're facing their toughest opponent of the year. And they've got to be prepared for them to fight it out all the way and add a few extra wrinkles in the second half as well. They need to stay on guard.
Taking a shot for Samuel. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and give the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line, well short of the first down marker. Here's Tressway now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And they will take over 1st and 10. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. And their defense did its job by forcing the punt to start things out. And now, Charles, can the offense get in gear?
I think, partner, you can sense them saying, okay, the first half was theirs, but now let's get the momentum back on our side. We forced a punt. Now let's go downfield and score. If we do that, we'll be set up well for this second half.
Going up the gut, Montgomery. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
First down, they run again. Here's Montgomery, and he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Fields. And this will be caught by Mooney.
Never make the mistake with the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here. They're just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
3rd and 2, Fields. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have the Bears first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2. In Washington territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Montgomery back to the ground. And he coughed it up. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And now off to the races down the right side. And he is going to bring this one back to the house. It's a Commanders touchdown on the scoop and score. So a great play there by the defense. If these guys are going to advance, and it looks like they will, this defense a big reason why.
And they love carrying the mantle for this team, don't they? You see the way that they move around out there? They want to lead this team deeper into the playoffs and hopefully onto the Super Bowl.
And that return for a touchdown certainly helps that cause. Sly on for the extra point. And the lead is up to 18 now. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. From the 6. And able to get this out to the 25. You see David Montgomery heading back out to begin the drive. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you got a talented back, give it back to him.
They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
Back to Montgomery on 2nd down. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. That ground game contained again there, Charles, and that's really a big reason that they're trailing right now.
They give a lot of credit to that defensive front. That's exactly what they worked for all week, to try and take away the run game, make them one-dimensional. In the battle of game plans, theirs has been superior.
Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. Here comes Grant on the return. A big kick there. We'll call it 56 yards on the punt. And it will be Washington football now with a 1st and 10. They'll start on the ground with Gibson. Takes it to the 26, just a 1-yard gain. 1 quarter remains until the NFC. Back now at FedEx Field. It's Washington with the football and the lead as we start the 4th. Off the play fake. Moreland. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
Well, offensively, that's the mismatch that you want. You want to force a linebacker to try and cover your back out of the backfield, out in some open space. But linebackers nowadays, they run like backs, and they take a lot of pride in covering. What a nice play he made there in the open field.
And he's going to have the Commanders first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
When you have someone throwing it that well, that confidently, you don't have to call the game in fear at all, do you? You just go ahead and play.
Yep, confidence with a lead to throw it here in the 4th, and boom, he's on the money.
Yeah, you don't have to tuck your head in and take it look like turtle at this point. You can just go ahead and play.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 10 yards there, good for a Washington first down. And looking to put this game on ice in the 4th quarter, but still not afraid to throw it as they show there.
You want to play the game with confidence, and they have a guy who's in control right now. Their trigger guy, throwing it, they feel just as confident with him doing that as they would if they tried to run the ball and run the clock out.
The last run got 3, now here's 2nd and 7. Off play action, Moreland. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Throwing on first down, Moreland. A throw left side caught here by the tight end Bates. And they move this all the way. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll run with Robinson. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. To throw on 2nd down. Moreland. And it's caught. 5 yards that time on the completion, and now it's 3rd and goal.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Washington with the football here as we welcome you back. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. Looking to throw. Moreland. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin from 3 yards out. And the Commanders are closing in on a Super Bowl berth now as they extend their 4th quarter lead. Extra point by Sly is up and good. And they open the lead up now to 25. Washington kick team back out there now as they will send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19. Now the Bears offense ready to take over again. CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is end the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
To throw again on 2nd down. Fields over the middle, and that's caught by Kmet. And he'll be taken down, but not before they reach the 50. 22 yards there, a first down. And with this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants this lead to stay right where it is.
Wide open receiver complete. And he's going to be taken down right at the 10-yard line.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Again, Fields. He'll get this underneath to Montgomery. And he'll work free from one tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down. Now the Bears going to use the second of their timeouts as they get it with 26 seconds to go in the football game. Looking to throw again on second down. Fields. And he's got Mooney in the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. It's a 6-yard touchdown pass. And the Bears get a bit closer. Lutz with the extra point. And that'll cut the lead down to 18. That drive goes 80 yards in 6 plays. And finishing it all off was Darnell Mooney with a touchdown reception. And here's Jakeem Grant from his end zone. A lane opens here. He's past the 30. And able to return this one all the way out to the other side of the field across the 50.
Partner, when I was in college, we used to have these things called game maxims that we did before every game. One of them said, press the kicking game. For here's where the breaks are made. It's the area of hidden yardage. How about that return? Flipping the field, taking it past the 50, and getting things set up to start the series.
Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete. Washington about to close this one out as they are down to a knee. And what a ride it has been. NFC champs.
I'm the best, and I got it, and I own it on my own. Get my way up, you know I go, go. If I touch it, then it's cold, I'm the best, and the best, and I got it, and I own it on my own. Get my way up, you know I go. If I touch it, then it's cold. For the flank and they know I'm in prison. He wanna talk, but he not on schedule. I ain't taking a from my boy heavy. I'm the best, and you heard what I said. Spend all the money, I'm dripping, it's falling. Got on it, then it's dripping like water. Teaching, but I don't have a daughter. I know me, I can pick up when I call it. Working big, and it don't hurt to break, cause I'm always.
Madden Football is the home of the Super Bowl, and this historic matchup is brought to you by EA Sports. It's the Commanders and the Ravens coming up next.
Taking it about the 1. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The drive will commence with a run by J.K. Dobbins. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Another run here with Dobbins. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
Well, that kind of hit will certainly fire up your team both on the field and on the sideline. Tackles for lost yardage, they're always welcome.
Jackson. Open man is Duvernay. And he will have a Ravens first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
We saw that indeed, picking up the first. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 22 yards on the catch and run, a first down. Here's Jackson to throw. That is incomplete.
Offense was moving a little bit, had them back on their heels, but they had a brief pause by forcing the incompletion. That gives them a quick chance to regroup and try and mount a stand before they're backed up even further.
And he stopped immediately there. Officially nothing on that one, no gain, so they're left with still 10 to go on third down. Jackson now. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 19. A good pickup there on 20 yards. So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They go play action now. Jackson. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. Chase Young. Credit him with a sack, and it goes as a loss of 6. Well, Lamar Jackson, for all the talents of escaping pressure that he possesses, he was helpless to do much of anything there. He had no chance.
And it appears that this was just a letdown from the offensive line, but they do have a tough job because if you're a big tackle out there on the perimeter, sometimes you don't have the agility to keep up with the defensive end who's looking to wreak havoc in the backfield, and he got there and put his man on the ground.
Looking for the end zone. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down. Tucker's kick is good, but now there is a penalty marker on the field, so let's see what this is about. So they'll go ahead and accept the penalty. A lack of discipline defensively on 4th down, and now that leads to a 1st and 10. And this carry, despite the good move, will be stopped short of the 10. And now we're going to get a timeout called by the Washington defense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll run up the gut with Dobbins. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage.
An awful lot of congestion in the middle third of the field, but how about our defensive tackle right there? He just hold the line. He provided some push and smacked the ball carrier down for a loss.
On 3rd down, Jackson. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And boy, he had the marker square in his sights, but a good tackle is going to leave him about a yard or so short. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. That brings us to the end of one in Super Bowl 58. Much more to come from Las Vegas after this. 0-0 our score. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. First down, Moreland. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out high. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
Steps away to his left. And he's just going to get rid of this thing. To no one here. He throws it away, and now it's 3rd.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Dancing to his left. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th. And now the punter, Tress Way, as he sends this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Ravens will get it. 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory. Off the play fake to Dobbins. Here's Jackson. And his throw is incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
On 2nd down, a run with Dobbins. And he'll use his blockers to get this up over the 20 to the 21. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. Jackson looking to throw on 3rd. That's for Bateman, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Benjamin St-Juste. And the Commanders are going to take possession of the football. Well, when I looked down, he was kind of shaking his head right after he threw that pass. What did you see?
Well, from a defense's perspective, anytime you have your eyes back towards the quarterback, you're in a position to make a play on the ball, whether it's a big-time play by you or an overthrow by the quarterback. You have a much better opportunity.
The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. And down by a field goal, they'll take over with excellent field position following the interception. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
These are the situations that really test the defense, those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
And he's going to be down close to a 1st down at the Ravens 23. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him, so when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Now they pick up the 1st down there with a gain of 4. You look at this Super Bowl, the 2nd appearance for this head coach. The first one did not go as planned, as we all know, but what do you think he's learned from that first go-around?
He learned how much it hurts to lose, and that's what you hear from coaches so often. They don't remember the wins as much as they remember the losses. You can talk about the media, the scrutiny, the hoopla, but once you've had to shake a head coach's hand and jog off the field and know you have to face the media, face your fans, face your home life, knowing that you've lost the Super Bowl, that hurts big time, and you're going to do everything possible to try and prevent that from happening again. All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. They were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin taking it in from 14 yards out. And the Commanders have moved out in front. Well, we've talked about it before. You know, this jet sweep, something a lot of teams like to run nowadays, and this one winds up in the end zone.
And it is all about creating different ways to get the ball in the hands of your playmakers. And wasn't it interesting that prior to this game, the head coach told us, I saw this sitting in my chair watching the Tuesday night college game and decided to implement it myself.
Extra point by Sly is up and good, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Fields it right around the goal line. And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. As the offense comes out here, Charles, maybe perhaps a bit more of a focus on the run game for this drive after tossing an interception on the previous one?
I think that's a good way to look at it and a good way to think about it. But maybe they get to it in a little bit different way because after you throw an interception, you want to make sure you keep your quarterback's confidence high. So maybe give him a couple easy throws that he can complete and then get to the running game and try and get things settled down.
Yeah, and still in the first half here, a long way to go. On 2nd and 12, Jackson. He rifles one that's intercepted. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to nerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one? Or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
On 1st and 10, Moreland. Going to be caught downfield by Dotson. Touchdown, Washington. Jahan Dotson, 43 yards. And the Commanders continue to look good here in the first half of this Super Bowl. Great corner out there, not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field, and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
The extra point by Sly is up and good, and that pushes the lead up to 11. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. Now they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, have your fun. All right,
throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete. So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Jackson. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And the Commanders are going to take possession here at their own 33. A nightmare of a first half for him. That's now 3 interceptions. But Charles, with his talent, if anyone can shake this off and right the ship, it's him.
I agree, because you don't get to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league without developing some major mental toughness. So I expect him to go in the locker room at halftime, hit the reset button, and come out a new guy in half number 2.
A good start to the drive. That's caught out on the left side. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
Normally, you see 3 tight ends in a formation, you have to think to yourself, this has got to be a run. And I know as a safety, when I saw that, I took an extra step or 2 towards the line of scrimmage. Instead, they threw the ball, and he found one of those tight ends for a very nice pickup.
Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Throwing on 1st down, Moreland. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game. It has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try and pick up another 1st down.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. Back in the end zone, could he get his feet down? No, it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Back to throw again. And that will be incomplete.
Give them credit for excellent coverage, tight coverage. They're doing a lot of things that we talked about in basketball. They're causing disruptions in the passing game. And as long as that continues, it'll be tough for them to gain any momentum throwing the ball downfield.
Well, they already had the early lead, and they get the interception, Charles, and now they add 3 more with the field goal.
Yeah, they're in control of how this game is playing out so far. You mentioned the early lead. Now they're expanding on it, getting plays on both sides of the ball. A winning recipe if they can keep this up.
And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. And the Ravens going to get 1 more drive here in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And he'll work this back to right around the line of scrimmage and surrender there. So the halftime show of the Super Bowl abbreviated, ready to go for the second half. Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And we will not see a return to start the half, as this will be a touchback. The Washington offense ready to go to begin the third quarter. And I would imagine this is where you have to take stock of the situation, CD, and say, gosh, we're halfway to the Lombardi Trophy. Let's not slow down now.
And I like the way you went there. Let's not slow down now, because the first half certainly went their way. And I would expect them to continue that type of a game plan. But you're right. You do think back to Super Bowl 54. 49ers had a double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, couldn't hold on. So plenty can still happen.
And it's a short one here, complete to his tight end. So the completion good for 6 yards, and that'll bring up a third down. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. To throw on third down, Moreland. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And he's going to have a Commander's first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try to put the hammer down and finish this one off.
That's going to be caught by Samuel. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
As long as you go through your proper reads and progressions, the drag route can be one of those old reliable plays, because usually it's good for a good chunk of yardage, as we just saw there.
And those guys like it, right? They can get the ball with a full head of steam.
Especially against man coverage, because man coverage, you're typically running away from someone and not worried about traffic coming out on the other end.
And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. Looking to throw on second down. Moreland. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay, because the second part of that is, if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Looking left side, and it's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 23. That good for 19 yards as they pick up the conversion on third. They go play action here on first down. That's going to be caught. Touchdown. Curtis Samuel, 23 yards for the touchdown. And the Commanders will extend their third quarter lead here in the Super Bowl.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, you mentioned that slowly but surely, you also drain clock too with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point by Sly is up and good. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Taken in at the 3. The Ravens offense getting ready now for their first possession of the second half. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 16. They'll start with a handoff to Dobbins. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. Credited with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Jackson going to keep it running right. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down.
I see a shake of the head as he gets up, and you've got to imagine he's thinking, guys, you got to help me out. He's hoping his team can read his thoughts, because he definitely needs some assistance.
And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds. So a big call there, that brings up 4th. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. Returnable for Grant. Bears are starting to open things up here in the Super Bowl. And we always talk about kick returns being so exciting. On kickoffs, punt return almost equally exciting.
And typically we talk about the kickoff return being the most exciting 10 seconds in football. Let's just cut it in half for a punt return to make it the most exciting 5 seconds in football. It's a great, glamorous, dashing play.
So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. Fielded just outside the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And really, Charles, not much of a surprise that they're losing. They just haven't been able to get much of anything going in the pass game. And as you well know, in today's NFL, if the passing game isn't working, usually not much else is working either.
Exactly right about that, partner. And I know that right now the easy answer would be, hey, let's run the football. But that might not be everything you need. So despite the fact that they've struggled throwing it, they've got to find some type of a play, multiple plays, that puts the ball in the air and allows for them to have some success.
The quick feet by Jackson. And they finally get him, but not before he reaches the 33-yard line. A big-time gain there on the keeper, using his legs to hurt him. First down. What a run there. I mean, you got speed, elusiveness, escapability, all rolled into one.
And we all know that quarterbacks are coached. They get the ball to the guys who can do all the things.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders. We are through 3 quarters of play here from Allegiant Stadium. Folks, welcome back to the biggest stage in sports, the Super Bowl, and now we get down to the good stuff, the 4th and final quarter. Throwing on 2nd and long. Jackson eluding the pressure right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. A gain of 8 there on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Here we go. It's Jackson on 4th down. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Devin Duvernay, 32 yards. And the Ravens are finally into the end zone here in this 4th quarter. Tucker with the extra point, and that'll cut the lead back down to 21. And this is going to be covered up by Washington. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again.
And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
One of the selling points of the end route is it gives the quarterback a really nice sight line to his receiver and almost on a direct shot, able to throw the ball to the middle of the field and have a great chance of success as they did on that play.
On 3rd down, Moreland. This pass hauled in by Dotson. And he's going to have a Commanders first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
They bring pressure there on 3rd down, but this is a nice job of picking it up and making sure their guy has time to deliver the football. And they wind up getting the first down.
They'll look to throw now on 1st down. Open man is Samuel, complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Pulling a gain of 3 on the play. And that's going to bring up 2nd down. Off the play fake, Moreland. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
Well, they're up comfortably here, Charles, but that lead certainly not dissuading them from pressing the envelope late. I mean, if anything, with these passes, it's like they're getting more aggressive to try to drive the ball downfield.
And that will certainly lend itself to some post-game questions for that coach. And maybe you and I should attend that press conference to see what he has to say, because someone's going to ask him why he continued to push it. My guess, he didn't like how some of the snaps were run earlier. He wanted to use that as a chance to clean things up, but he certainly will have some explaining to do.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And he will make it to the 20-yard line and no further. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. And it's becoming more and more apparent that this is just not going to be their night. That Lombardi Trophy so close, but the expectations simply have not matched the results as they start on this drive, 1st and 10. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Now Jackson. That's complete, left side to Bateman. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. He'll find Bateman once more. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. From Commanders territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. Again, Jackson. Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down. Now it's Jackson. That's taken in by Duvernay. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. Jackson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. They're going on 4th down. It's Jackson. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, looking for Andrews downfield. And down he goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 of the 6. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Devin Duvernay. His 2nd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Ravens are able to make some inroads here to that deficit. He was on point throwing the ball right there. He had the big play to get him down close, and then he delivers a touchdown pass on 1st and goal.
And you mentioned the big play that got him down close. I think that big play left him reeling a little bit. They didn't recover from it. And you know, they always talk about having to have a short memory on defense after a big play against you. Looks like the memory was a little too long there.
And this is going to be covered up by Washington. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number as empirical.
Slings this deep from McLaurin. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. A huge play there for Washington. And even 40 yards. They'll run with Gibson. It'll be a 3-yard pickup, and it brings up 2nd and goal. And with inside of 10 seconds, 8 to be precise, we get whistles and a timeout on the field. keeper, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Commanders are starting to pour it on the game's biggest stage. They are running away with this Super Bowl. The extra point by Sly is up and good, and they open the lead up now to 25. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. Well, this is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go.
And this is caught. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Devin Duvernay with his 3rd touchdown of this Super Bowl. And the Ravens are able to cut into that deficit. The extra point is good, but it only impacts the final score as this game comes to a close. And they give it the Washington Commanders, Super Bowl champions. And the storied franchise will once again possess the Lombardi Trophy. And to the Super Bowl champions, they etch their name forever in NFL immortality.
That's pretty phenomenal right there. It actually gave me chills just to hear you say that, because immortality forever and ever. When you look in the record books, you'll see this team, you'll see their picture, that your name will be a part of it. That's got to be an incredible feeling, because it's been a long journey to get there, and now they get a chance to enjoy it.